What's good, everybody? This is your guy Manny, and this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. And today we'll be talking fantasy waiver wire additions. We're going to talk about some players that can possibly help your team win this up and coming week. There's tons of players that are, or tons of teams that are on a bye week. So it's going to be tough. If you're a guy like me who has Josh Allen everywhere and Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis, people like that, you're going to be struggling this week. But there's hope. There's different guys out there that you can go ahead and scoop. So I'm going to go ahead and run my intro. We're going to get this show on and popping. Let's get it. All right, man. I don't know if you guys heard anything I said the previous 1 minute or so, but it's all good. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this show. It's going to be a super short show, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So let's start with quarterbacks. Taylor Heinicke is going to be taking over for Carson Wentz. If you're playing in 2 quarterback leagues, this is the time to go ahead and grab Taylor Heinicke. Oh, man, breaking news. The Yankees are up 4-1 right now versus the Guardians in the 4th inning. Let's go, Yankees. But anyways, back to football. Also, Russell Wilson has a significant hamstring injury, which means that Brett Rypien is available. And it's not somebody that I would put a waiver claim in on, but if Brett Rypien is out there for free tomorrow morning, he's going to be on my team, especially with the likes of all these different injuries. Mac Jones, we don't know what's going on, all these different bye weeks. If you're in 2 quarterback leagues, you definitely need to go ahead and get Rypien. Joe Villa, what's good? Joe Villa says Heineken. Yeah, Heineke is back. He's going to be the quarterback for the Commanders. Here's what I like about Heineke. Heineke actually helped me win a dynasty league last year. He was the only quarterback available, and I had him on my team. He's going to offer some running upside. So although you're looking at it like, oh, Heineke, you got to look at the Heineke last year and the Heineke this year. Heineke last year, his best target was Terry McLaurin, and that was it. Logan Thomas up and down with injuries. He literally had nobody else but J.D. McKissick as his number 2 target. This year, he has the Logan Thomas and the J.D. McKissick, even though Logan Thomas is hurt. He has 2 other tight ends, and then also he has Jahan Dotson, he has Curtis Samuel to check down too. So I think with Taylor Heinicke being the quarterback for the Commanders, you're going to see an uptick in targets and even production for a guy like Curtis Samuel. He's going to replace J.D. McKissick in that role of, oh, who do I look for? Boom. So, yeah, he definitely has more weapons. So I'm actually very intrigued in Taylor Heinicke from a fantasy football perspective. Although I am a Commanders fan, I don't have any expectations on what Taylor Heinicke may or may not do in real life. But, yeah, Taylor Heinicke is definitely the play. He's possibly the best quarterback that will come in and fill in for somebody who's hurt this week. Let me see. So the quarterbacks that are on bye this week, you have Josh Allen, you have Matthew Stafford, you have Kirk Cousins, and you have Jalen Hurts. Those are some big names. Outside of Matthew Stafford, we really don't care about Matthew Stafford, right? But Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins, Jalen Hurts, these are 3 QB1s so far this year. And with injuries, people coming back from injury, you have Dak Prescott coming back. You have Tua Tagovailoa coming back. Then you have Russell Wilson dealing with his current injury. Carson Wentz is gone for 4 to 6 weeks. Jameis Winston back. Jameis Winston has been back and forth. So this has been a terrible year for quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett is under concussion protocol. So now Mitchell Trubisky comes back into play, and he's going to be available. Like I said, for those of you guys who play in 2 quarterback leagues or super flex leagues, you're going to need these different quarterbacks. If Mac Jones is out, Bailey Zappi played well last week. He's going to continue to play well. Baker Mayfield may be back, may not be back, but on top of that, PJ Walker's he's hurt. I think he has like a neck injury or something like that. So tons of injuries all around. Even Andy Dalton is dealing with a back injury. So if Jameis Winston can't go and if Andy Dalton cannot go, Taysom Hill becomes a pretty big name. Not only that, you can stick Taysom Hill into your tight end production. We remember last year when ESPN was fighting with Taysom Hill being a quarterback but being played as a tight end. So that could be in play. Anytime that Jameis Winston is out, Taysom Hill is a good play. I said that last week. I apologize for that. He wasn't a good play. It just didn't work out this past week. But if you're desperate for a tight end, what can you do? Matthew Stafford, man, he's just been so terrible. He's really droppable right now. Really, I'm starting any defense is going against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Van Jefferson should be coming back soon, so it should help. But at the same time, I'm not messing with Matthew Stafford at all. So a quarterback that I would pursue is Matt Ryan. When you look at Matt Ryan, he's going against the Tennessee Titans this week, right? The Tennessee Titans, they have a terrible secondary. Matt Ryan is coming off of a game where he had 356 passing yards. 300 plus passing yards and 3 touchdowns last week. This week, he's going against the lowly Tennessee Titans. If you have a waiver priority, go get Matt Ryan. The very following week, he's going against the Commanders. The Commanders' defense is slowly improving, but I want to see how the Commanders look like against a guy like Aaron Rodgers compared to what the Commanders could look like versus Matt Ryan in 2 weeks. So Matt Ryan, Titans, and Commanders, those are 2 nice matchups to go ahead and scoop in Matt Ryan. Now, I tried to get Matt Ryan last week before this blow-up game. He had a blow-up game. Now it's tougher to get at Matt Ryan. Joe Villa is asking Jimmy G. Jimmy G is a good play this week. If he's available in your leagues, you go ahead and you scoop him immediately. Jimmy G is going against the Kansas City Chiefs, who struggle versus quarterbacks. Jimmy G is averaging a nice 17.6 points per game. And if you're playing in, leagues where touchdowns are 6 points, possibly more points than that 17.6. Marcus Mariota, he had a great game last game. He had 28 fantasy points. He ran for 1, passed for 2. So Mariota is a decent play. If you're looking for a desperation play, you might, Jameis Winston versus Arizona. Arizona has struggled this year. Joe Villa says, I'm gonna roll with Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy's he's a good scoop. He's a good pickup. I'm not mad at that at all. Like I said, Taylor Heineke definitely has that rushing upside. And I love Taylor Heineke in this matchup versus Green Bay. Green Bay is banged up right now. Although they have a pretty good defense, he's banged up. I think that Taylor Heineke has a chance with guys like Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, Dotson, Logan Thomas. If he's healthy, I think he can score 20 points this week. So there's definitely options for you at quarterback. At running back, running backs that are on bye this week, you have Dalvin Cook, you have Alexander Madison. Obviously, you have Miles Sanders, you have Devin Singletary, Darrell Henderson, who is now the new running back for the Rams. Cam Akers, there's news, there's rumblings, there's rumors that Cam Akers is done with the Rams, and the Rams are actually looking to ship him out. But what team can actually use Cam Akers? What's good, Mark? What's good? Mark writes, should I trade Marquise Brown and Devin Duvernay for CHE? I mean, at this point, why not? Because Marquise Brown is most likely out 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even longer. Devin Duvernay for CHE, that's pretty much what it is right now. If this is a redraft league, I will definitely make this trade, especially if I'm looking for RB help. So, yeah, make the deal. Joe Villa says, Jimmy, prayer emoji. Hey, I'm praying for you because I got Jimmy in a few leagues. I got my boy Chef Dre Bug in the building, man. What's good, man? Salute, my friend. Keep up the good work, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Cameron B. writes, I currently have a claim open to pick up Dotson off waivers and drop KJ Osborne. Yeah, I would definitely take Dotson over KJ Osborne for sure. Then you also said, my Eagles DST is on bye this week. Really don't want to drop them. Should I cancel the Dotson claim and pick up Miami's defense? Yeah, the Dotson thing, just chill off on the Dotson thing, just for the simple fact that Taylor Heineke has never played with Dotson, right? So we know Taylor Heineke is going to favor guys like Terry and guys like McKissick and even Curtis, even Logan Thomas. So we don't know where Dotson is going to fit in. So go ahead and scoop up Miami's defense. I love the matchup this week for Miami. I will definitely pick up Miami over picking up Dotson. It says, if Dotson goes through, I'd have to drop Nyheim Hines. Okay, I feel you. Dawson Knox, Madison. Yeah, you got options to drop for Dotson or Jared Goff to pick up. I'm not dropping Jared Goff. And you're saying this is a 16-man league. Jared Goff as a backup quarterback in a 16-man is gold. with this being 16 man, if everybody in your 16-man league had 2 quarterbacks, that's 32 quarterbacks. So Jared Goff right now is a QB1, borderline QB2. I mean early, QB2. I would say that Jared Goff has so much value. You can trade Jared Goff right now for a skill position piece like a running back or a tight end or a receiver. I'm not dropping Jared Goff. But yeah, definitely Nyheim Hines is droppable. Dawson Knox is droppable. Madison is droppable. Mark writes, who's the best for week 7? Jimmy G, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, Marcus Mariota, Matt Ryan, or Jacoby Brissett. I'm going Matt Ryan versus that Titans defense. That Titans defense was pretty bad. And Matt Ryan, like I said, had over 300 yards passing the last game and 3 touchdowns. So Matt Ryan is pretty hot right now. I would go Matt Ryan or Jimmy G. Those are the only 2 guys that I trust. Derek Carr plays Houston. So if I had to rank it, I would go Matt Ryan, Jimmy G, Derek Carr. That's how I would, rank them. The rest, maybe another guy that I might play 4th is Marcus Mariota. The rest are at the end of the totem pole for me. Mark writes, choose 2. Choose 2 people to cut out of these: Etienne, Connor, Dobbins, or Pollard. So if I had to cut 2, it'll be Dobbins for sure and Pollard. I think that Connor still has ton of upside. I mean, Connor, when he's healthy, we know what he brings. So I got to keep Connor over Pollard. Pollard is still in that timeshare with Ezekiel Elliott. They take turns on who's going to be the back for that team. So give me ETN, give me Connor, and I'm cutting Dobbins and Pollard. I read this wrong. Choose 2 people out of these. My bad. So if I have to choose 2, I'm choosing ETN and Pollard for this week because Connor's out and Connor plays on Thursday. I don't think Connor's going to be ready. So give me ETN and Pollard for this week. Dobbins, he's hurt. He's banged up. We're going to be talking running backs in a minute, and Kenyon Drake is a guy that you want to go ahead and scoop up. Joe says, thoughts on Brissett and Mills? Matchup seems okay. If I have to choose between these 2, give me Brissett. Mills is not trustworthy. I can't trust Mills whatsoever. So give me Brissett. Cameron writes, thanks, man. I feel you on golf. What are your thoughts on the Raiders defense versus Houston this week? It's a playable defense for sure. Or should I go after Miami off waivers? I like Miami's defense this week over the Raiders, but if you can't get Miami, the Raiders are a pretty good defense this week versus Houston. Mark says, pick 2 people out of these: CHE, Connor, ETN, Dobbins, Pollard. Give me ETN and give me CHE. Tough tough group to choose from. Joe writes, what wide receiver do you prioritize on the waiver wire? This is an 8-man PPR, so waivers loaded. Okay, give me the list. It says, no, bro, not to cut. Yeah, I figured it out later. My bad, brother. New England or Miami. New England is a must start every single week. Because they continue to produce. Look, Belichick just knows what he's doing. Give me New England this week over Miami. Let's get to running backs a little bit. So you have tons of injuries to these running backs. Jonathan Taylor, he might return this week. DeAndre Swift might return. J.K. Dobbins with the knee is kind of scary right now, so I don't know what that situation is. James Conner may play, may not play. Eno Benjamin, he's banged up. So who is a guy that you can actually pick up for Arizona? Is it Kentonia Ingram, who is possibly the only healthy back that the Arizona Cardinals have right now? Gus Edwards, is he close to returning? Is he not returning? So tons of injuries all over the place. But check and see if Khalil Herbert is available. Khalil Herbert, he's trending up, and the coach wants to go with the hot hand. So good news for Khalil Herbert owners, bad news for David Montgomery owners. Michael Carter, if he's out there, Rashad White, he's nice flex. He receives passes. Nyheim Hines may not be healthy, but Deion Jackson, I love what Deion Jackson brought to the table last week. He had 28 points. If he's out there, just scoop him. Even if he's hurt, they say that he's hurt right now. I don't care. Give me all the Deion Jackson that is out there. So you want to prioritize. You want to go ahead and grab Kenyon Drake. Let me see what Joe said. Joe says, where do you think CMC lands, if anywhere? I would love to see CMC on the Kansas City Chiefs. I doubt that happens. I would love to see CMC on the Buffalo Bills. Wherever CMC goes, I just pray that it's a good quarterback and it's a good offense. Just for the simple fact where he's coming from, it won't make sense for a non-contender to trade for CMC. Who knows? CMC on a team like the Chiefs and the Bills makes the most sense. What could actually happen? CMC on the Ravens? It's not bad. Even though I know they got Dobbins, but Dobbins, he's hurt. When you have a chance to get a guy like a CMC, you go ahead and grab him. So I don't know. It's a mystery to me. Out of all the contenders, where can CMC actually fit? I don't know. I would love to see him on a nice offense, though, with a nice quarterback. That's my preference. So Kenyon Drake, he's going to be the top priority RB this week, especially with J.K. Dobbins dealing with injuries. He's possibly the only healthy running back available for the Ravens. So Kenyon Drake, Latavius Murray, we saw Melvin Gordon not play in the second half, and Melvin Gordon was pissed off when he was asked about this. So Latavius Murray, Philip Lindsay's out there just in case, because right now he's the healthiest running back available for the Colts. So you want to keep an eye out on that. Chuba Hubbard, just in case CMC gets traded, Chuba Hubbard becomes a thing. Deontay Foreman, he becomes a thing. I like Deontay Foreman a lot. I like Foreman more than I like Chuba Hubbard, but you want to keep an eye out on CMC getting traded. And it's looking and sounding like CMC gets traded this week. So you want to go ahead and stash guys like Chuba Hubbard and, Foreman just in case. Sony Michel, he got more of a role. He got more of a role, especially with Joshua Kelly getting hurt on Monday night. That opened it up for Sony Michel, and you want to go ahead and have him stashed just in case something happens to Austin Eckler. You'll have a nice RB that can potentially give you RB2 status moving forward. Let me read some of these comments. Let me see. Joe says, I seen 49ers and Rams. Ooh, I would like CMC on the 49ers. That's actually a great fit. Rams, I can see it working for the Rams too. They need that hybrid RB, one that's an excellent receiver. And I think that, for the Rams and the 49ers, CMC would be an excellent acquisition for either one of those teams. It says CMC to the Rams would be nice. Absolutely. It's definitely going to help a guy like Matthew Stafford for sure. Since Rams got rid of Akers, making room for CMC, possible. Very possible. It says Rams don't have any picks left to give Carolina. That's true, but they could have a player. Maybe they have a pass rusher, or maybe they have something of use. Maybe they can trade a guy like Van Jefferson. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm pretty sure there's something that they could offer that could benefit them. But yeah, I'm also hearing that, that Carolina is looking for 2 first-round picks for CMC. I don't know who has that kind of ammo to offer. James Cook, he's out there, especially with all these bye weeks and everything. He's now for sure locked in as the number 2 RB for the Bills. So it's only a matter of time until James Cook takes over that backfield and, jumps over a guy like Devin Singletary. Malcolm Brown's a good stash. DJ Dallas, a good stash. Kentonia Ingram, he might be the healthiest RB in Arizona. So he's a guy that's going to be available in tons and tons of leagues. So you can go ahead and grab him, stash him, especially with Eno Benjamin being hurt right now. Receivers that are on bye week: Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, A.J. Brown, Devontae. Look, these are some stud type wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, Devontae Smith, Gabe Davis. And then obviously with the big injury to Hollywood Brown, that hurts a lot of people. Michael Thomas being up and down. Keenan Allen, we don't even know if he's ever going to play. Like, Keenan Allen injury right now is lingering a lot like Michael Thomas injury did last year and even the year before that. So tons of injuries all around. And then even in Green Bay with a guy like Randall Cobb being, hurt, he's going to miss multiple games. Kenny Golladay, like the whole Giants receiving core. You know what I'm saying? So Look for guys like Michael Gallup if he's available in your league. Alec Pierce continues to trend up. I love what I'm seeing out of Alec Pierce. He's almost like a Michael Pittman. He reminds me a lot of a Michael Pittman. Let me read some of these comments. Cameron says, would CMC still get as many pass targets on the new team? I mean, if you're trading for this guy, you're trading for him to use him. If you're trading for CMC and you're not giving him targets and touches, just doesn't make any sense. So I figure wherever CMC goes, the value is going to be up. So CMC has 2 more years left until he gets to that age where RB starts to slow down. But what I love about CMC is that he's more receiver than anything. So if you're playing in PPR leagues, I mean, it doesn't matter what age CMC is. Just know that he's going to be used a ton in the passing game. And that's what you go and grab CMC for. He's one of those rare running backs like a Eckler and a Kamara that are so rare that catch a lot of passes. It says Waller or Kittle. Give me Kittle. I can't trust Waller right now. Waller's getting to that point to where he's untouchable for me. But yeah, Alec Pierce, guys, he's trending up. He's trending in the right direction. I love what I'm seeing out of Alec Pierce. Moving forward, Rondale Moore. I understand, Robbie Anderson got traded to the Arizona Cardinals. I understand that, DeAndre Hopkins is coming back from suspension. But Rondale Moore is the wide receiver to own in Arizona. I'm going to come back on next week and see if I was right. Matter of fact, I might come back on Friday and see if I'm right after that game on Thursday night. I love Rondale Moore, and he's going to be getting a lot of targets out of that slot position. And in PPR, it just bodes well for you. Joe says Waller is untrustworthy. Yeah, I can't trust Waller anymore. Kevin D, man, what's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream. He says 2 points per reception, start 2. Chris Godwin, T. Higgins, Aaron Jones. 2 points per reception. Give me the wide receivers. Give me Chris Godwin and give me T. Higgins for sure. I mean, I understand with all the injuries that Green Bay is going through, wide receiver wise. So they're going to lean on the running backs more. So I can see a potential where Aaron Jones is getting a ton of targets coming out of the backfield versus the Commanders this week. But still, give me Chris Godwin. Give me T. Higgins. I'm going to go with the guys that have the potential to catch more passes. So 2 points per reception. Give me Chris Godwin. Give me T. Higgins. Eyeballing more since AZ lost Hollywood. Absolutely. Yeah, 2 points per reception is wild, man. It's crazy. It says, which of these 2 receivers is the better one this week? I think this week, Chris Godwin is due for a breakout game. You can see a touchdown or 2 going to Chris Godwin this week. I think as the weeks go on, Chris Godwin gets healthier and healthier and healthier. If you guys are new to the channel, please like, please subscribe, please share, all that good jazz. Water says, Water. I almost said Walter. Water says, what do you think of Swift? Do you think that Swift will play this week? I think that Swift has a great chance to play this week. I'm hoping that he doesn't, just because I have a lot of Jamal Williams all over Dynasty. But I do think that Swift plays this week. And if Swift plays this week, you can expect 20 points out of Swift. He's just that dude. CD Smitty says, should I trade D-Hop for Kyler Murray? The answer is yes. Although the D-Hop is coming back, he's going to be fresh. This is the time to get rid of D-Hop, especially in Dynasty. Now, if you're talking redraft, it's different, but I would still trade D-Hop for Kyler Murray. That's a no-brainer. Give me Kyler Murray all day long. Since it depends on what your quarterback, what your quarterback situation is looking like. Absolutely. Says, I need Swift to play this week. I feel you. I do have some Swift shares. Swift is that guy. And when Swift is healthy, he is what CMC is. Like he has that CMC type level of play. If you're talking about running backs that are wide receivers, you look at the CMCs and the Kamaras and the Swifts of the world. If Swift can stay healthy, he's that same kind of back. He's on that level. And he could possibly be better because he's a much better runner than CMC to me. That's just to me, especially at this age. So we'll see what happens. Says, I still won a game without Swift and JT. Hey, that's awesome. Swift or Ramondre in the flex this week. Look, I've been on the Ramondre Stevenson train forever. And I just traded Alvin Kamara in Dynasty for Ramondre Stevens, Dobbins, and the handcuff now to Ramondre Stevens and Damian Harris. So I would go Ramondre Stevenson this week over Swift just because Ramondre Stevenson is just so hot right now. It says 8-man PPR. It says you have CMC and Barkley as your other guys. Yeah, I would go with Ramondre. He's just too hot right now. Says my QB is Rodgers and he's struggling. Says because I had Jamar Chase. Okay. But yeah, other wide receivers that are up and coming is Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, this guy right here, he is what the Giants fans hoped and wished Kadarius Toney to be. I love Wan'Dale Robinson a lot. Moving forward, not just in Dynasty or Keeper, even in redraft. Wan'Dale Robinson is going to command all the targets for this team. When he played at Kentucky, he was that dude, and it's going to translate. Josh Reynolds, he's been good. This year. He's averaging a nice 13.7 points per game. Josh Reynolds is that number 2 wide receiver for the Lions, even if DJ Chark is healthy or not. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown and it's Josh Reynolds. If there's no Swift, Josh Reynolds to the moon. Darnell Mooney, he gets better and better each week. He's a nice pickup if you're desperate for a play this week, but going against New England, I'm not too sure about that. But if he's available, you go ahead and grab him and you stash him. Josh Palmer, each week he's solid. I think the last game he had 9 catches for 57 yards. That's crazy. That's 14 points right there. So as long as Keenan Allen stays away, Josh Palmer is a weekly play. He's averaging 9 points per game, but hey, 9 to 14 points in the flex isn't bad. Tyquan Thornton, I was highly critical of this guy. He had a nice game. He had 2 touchdowns. He ran for 1. He caught 4 passes for 37 yards. Chase Claypool, he's looking good. He's becoming alive again in that offense. I was thinking Pickens has overtaken Claypool. Claypool is, he seems to be highly targeted. And if Trubisky's going to be the quarterback moving forward, maybe Chase Claypool has a nice rapport with Trubisky. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. If he's available, grab him. Van Jefferson, he's close to being back, so that's another guy that you want to target. Let me dive into some of these comments before I end this stream. It says, what do you think about Claypool, nice game, and the Steelers wide receivers? Man, I just talked a little bit about Claypool. I think right now Claypool is the wide receiver to own, but it's each week it just goes like this. Some weeks it's Deontay Johnson, some weeks it's Claypool, some weeks it's Pickens. So it's tough. It's a tough situation. You just pick one and you pray. It seemed like Pickett loved Pickens a lot. Now Pickett is in concussion protocol. It's Trubisky. Trubisky throws the ball high. So Claypool is a big targeted wide receiver. So for this week, Claypool is the guy, but then it changes each and every week. And I don't want to deal with that situation, to be honest. Joe says Ramondre was my guess as well. But I'll be kicking myself if Swift goes off or Swift goes bananas. Yeah, Swift is special. You go Swift if that's your guy. But for me personally, I'm going with Ramondre Stevenson just because he's been hot. He's been hot. That's just my guy. Since my team is Brady, Lamb, Jefferson, Henry, Hall, Goddard, Godwin, 12-man PPR. Anything I should change? Team looks good. Rock with it. Brady, if you can find a better quarterback than Brady, that's what you should do. Right now, you're 3-3 in the league's leading scorer. Well, if you're the league leading scorer, don't change what you're doing. But if you can upgrade on Tom Brady, that's probably what I would do. Joe says, you see, I'm loaded at RB. Should I trade Ramondre once Harris comes back or trade Swift? I think if you trade Swift, you can get a elite wide receiver. Ramondre, even though he's playing so well right now, doesn't have the name value that Swift has. Even if Harris comes back, Ramondre is the guy. I think even if Harris is healthy, it's going to be 70-30 or 60-40 with Ramondre getting the edge, and Ramondre is getting all of the receiving work. So give me Ramondre and keep him, and then you can possibly trade Swift for a top-tier, wide receiver. So, you never know. It could be somebody who has a bunch of wide receivers. You might be able to get a Cooper Kupp. I doubt it. Maybe, Swift and something else small can get your Cooper Kupp. Maybe you can get a Devontae Adams. Just some of the guys that you can possibly get. Looking at tight ends. So real quick, Dallas Goedert is on a bye week. Tyler Higbee, Irv Smith, Dawson Knox. Tight ends is just hit and go. Just grab somebody, pray, and just wish. Evan Ingram has been solid the past couple weeks. Giants tight end, Cade Otton. So some of these rookie tight ends are now coming into play with Cameron Brate being out with a neck injury this week. Cade Otton is going to be a guy that, Tom Brady's going to, throw to and rely on. Greg Dulcich. I'm a big Greg Dulcich fan. He is now the tight end to own on the Broncos. Albert O is done. He was a healthy scratch yesterday. Greg Dulcich is going to be the number one targeted tight end this week in waiver wire, and you want to go ahead and grab him now that the price is still low. Mike Gesicki is, up and down with all these tight ends are up and down. Hunter Henry, these are guys that if they catch a touchdown, they look good. If they don't, then they don't. Juwan Johnson is the tight end to own on the Saints. Noah Fant, I'm liking what he's doing as the weeks progress. No more Will Dissly. It's the Noah Fant show with the ascension of Geno Smith. Jake Ferguson, he's the guy to own in Dallas. If you're playing Dynasty, Jake Ferguson. If you're playing Redraft, Jake Ferguson, especially with Dalton Schultz continuing to be out. I like Jake Ferguson a lot. Rookie. So a lot of these rookies are making some impacts this week. I'm going to dive into the comments one more time, and I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. So I traded Lamar, Dak, and Jeff Wilson for Brady, Henry, and Lamb. I'm hoping that the Henry that you're talking about is the running back because Lamar is that dude. It's an even trade, especially in the one quarterback league. You got to trade your best quarterback to get the best position guys like Henry and Lamb. Lamb with Dak coming back, that's Lamb to the moon. Derrick Henry, he's one of the best to ever do it. And then Brady is up and down. So you downgrade your quarterback, but at least you get a better running back and a better wide receiver. It says Hard Knocks name value. It says last week. Okay, let me see what this one says. It says Taysom Hill and Hunter Henry this week. Whew, man. I'm gonna go Hunter Henry, man. Look, that Taysom Hill thing is just too crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just too crazy. So give me Hunter Henry. He's much safer than that Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, when he scores, man, he's that dude. But give me Hunter Henry because Taysom Hill has the potential to get you 30 or 40, but he also has the potential to get you 0. So at least Hunter Henry has the potential to get you 5 to 10 points. So it's up to you on what you want to do there. Since you have Dallas Goedert on bye week, I feel you, man. Go ahead and grab you some of these younger tight ends like Jake Ferguson, Dulcich, Noah Fant. These are some of the guys that you can possibly play over Hill and feel good about it. Quinn, what's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't already. He says, I have Geno, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, Mike Evans, Waddle, Debo. Am I going in circles? Waddle, Debo, Taysom Hill with Schultz, Zay Jones, Pickens, Dobbins on the bench with Dak on IR. I'm 1-5. What do you suggest I do? It's not over. This is a time that you have to trade your best players away to get more depth. You know what I'm saying? So what I would do is, for one, I would say, hey, Evans is out there. He's on that, Mike Evans, Waddle, Debo, and see what you can get. Maybe you can get some top-tier running backs. Maybe it's time to kind of shake it up. Aaron Jones. So everybody on your team should be available for trade. These are the guys that you have, and they're giving you nothing. Like guys like Pickens and Dobbins, when you get better players, you can possibly drop those guys. Dalton Schultz, he's destroying you and killing you right now. So maybe you trade Mike Evans, Waddle, and Debo to get a guy like a Kelsey or a Mark Andrews with a running back. I'm just throwing it out there because it seems like you're hurting really, really bad at tight end and you're getting 0 production out of the tight end position. So maybe try to get a elite tight end or a mid-tier tight end like a Zach Ertz or a George Kittle who's up and coming right now in points. But yeah, it's tough to be 1-5 and with nothing really to do. So it's either you kind of trade your best players to get 2-for-1s, or you just ride it out. Joe Villa says, so you asked who's on the waiver wire. 8 tight ends. Yeah, man. With tight ends, man, just grab one. Just grab one. Like I said, right now I'm sticking with the rookies: Cade Otton, Daniel Bellinger, Greg Dulcich, just to name a few. You know, Jake Ferguson. These guys are most likely available. Just grab one and pray. That's all you can do at this point. So some defenses that I like this week. I like the Patriots. I like the Jets versus Denver. I like the Titans versus Indianapolis, even though I think that Matt Ryan has a good game. So it's kind of like one of those things. If you had no other defenses to play, then Titans might be decent. The Giants this week versus Jacksonville. I also like the Broncos versus the Jets. So it kind of goes both ways. Kickers, don't really care too much about kickers. Just pick one. I'm going to get this last question, and I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. It says, so you asked me who's on the waiver wire for your 8-team PPR, I guess, wide receiver. So you have Juju out there. You have Lazard out there. I don't know if Lazard is hurt or not, but if Lazard is not hurt, that's the guy. That's the guy you go ahead and grab. Or Dobbs. Both one of those two guys are going to go off versus the Commanders this week, sadly, but versus my Commanders. But, yeah, Lazard or Dobbs, one goes off. I like Gallup, obviously, with Dak Prescott coming back. Boyd, nah. I'm good on Boyd. I'm good on Woods. Claypool, Dobbs, or Lazard. Those are the guys that I would be interested in grabbing. Also, Pierce. So, guys, this is my time. This is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. Feel free to join. If you want to become a channel member, please feel free to join. One of the memberships does have access to get you guys into the group chat, so I can go ahead and answer your questions for you guys 24/7 when I'm not live on YouTube. So look into the YouTube channel membership, and I'm going to catch you guys on that next stream. I'm out. Peace.